Okay, 1 second. I'm sorry. Thank you for bearing with me. One. Okay. I'm going to be really a terrible person, and I'm going to see if I can give you this link. Try this link. Because I don't have the ability on Etsy's end to share it, I believe. And so I can't get into the back end and do these things. Let me know if the second option works. New York, 9 a.m. Is it snowing in New York? Is there snow coming? I'm in New Brunswick, so we're close to Maine. And I think we're supposed to get some flurries coming from your way. 6 a.m. in California. Wow. I feel really excited that you are up at 6 a.m. to watch this. Okay, good. I can see you now. I'm going to stop the other one or pause it and flip over here. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, so much easier when you can see the slides and know what I'm talking about, because I do have some examples and some tricks, some tips. I don't know if you're brand new to Etsy, if you've never sold on Etsy, if you've been selling for a while. But this is just going to be today like a refresh on Etsy search, specifically looking at the holidays. I think I'm Canadian. So a little bit of what I'm going to say is based on my own experience in Canada. Some of our shipping dates are a little bit different than in the US. You guys have Thanksgiving next week, and we had Thanksgiving on the 10th of October. So, there's a big difference. But our Christmas shopping typically starts after Remembrance Day. So November 11th, Veterans Day, I think, in the US. That's when everyone puts their trees up. That's when everyone starts going. And I know a lot of Canadian sellers definitely see like an uptick after Remembrance Day, where in the US, I think it's more after Thanksgiving. So we are just in time to get this search started. So, I'm Kate, and thank you all for joining in. My shop is called Hazel Bee. I started my shop in 2016, and my husband has his own business, and my daughter was born really early, and she was really sick, and I had to leave my job. So I decided I would open an Etsy shop. I learned to crochet when I was pregnant, open an Etsy shop, but I was like, I cannot fail at this. And I learned everything I could about Etsy search. So Etsy search is probably one of my favorite topics to cover. Anyway, I have had some really great success with being found on Etsy. I have participated in collaborations with A Beautiful Mess. I have been featured in magazines and publications, news stations. I just was found by a movie for Netflix, some things, and that all came from being found on Etsy. And I know people have, like, every platform has its pros and its cons, but for me, it's been a really, really great experience. So actually, Etsy came to me in 2019 and asked me to start teaching these workshops. And before COVID, I was teaching them in person in my area in New Brunswick, Canada. And now hopefully we'll get back to in person at some point, but it's nice to be able to connect with people in Ireland and California and New York and wherever you are tuning in from today. So it's nice to see you. So today we are talking about prepping your shop for the Christmas season, and we are like right in the thick of it right now. Like I said, Thanksgiving's coming up. People are in shopping mode, and I know we've all watched the news. We've all seen the craziness that is shipping delays right now with getting product in for big chain stores, getting product in for even little makers for our materials and our supplies. So people have started shopping early. I know in my own shop, I've noticed it. I'm hoping selfishly, I know that maybe it means it'll peter off in December and I will not be as crazy in December as I usually am because I've been so crazy earlier in the fall. But people are on Etsy this year specifically because they want to find gifts with meaning. They are looking for that like super special one of a kind item to give to someone. And that is actually like the trending word. I don't know if you follow the Etsy podcast. Dana Isom Johnson has said that meaningful gifts are what people are looking for this year. And I think knowing that there's somebody behind a shop who has made this, who has touched this, who has poured into their product. And there's that connection that's made with buying from person to person that really creates that meaning. So I think people are really, really excited to be shopping on Etsy this holiday season. So for starters, we need to think about our inventory. So like I said, Etsy trend expert Dana Isom Johnson summed up her predictions for 2021 as meaningful. Whether they're buying things to make their homes extra festive, because I mean, last year, I know where I was, Christmas was essentially canceled. You couldn't have family in, you couldn't travel. So this year, people are really, really anxious to get people back into their houses. People have done renos. People have not had people in. They've not entertained. They've done, amazing things. So they're really excited and looking for these not so cookie cutter items, these one of a kind goods, really cool things that you're not going to find at chain stores is really important to people. They really want to look at traditions and really, I think we've spent time with our families. We've started creating these traditions that maybe are new. Maybe last year we did things a little differently and we want to elaborate on those. So personalized gifts, personalized board games, things like that are really trending. Connection is super important. So people are looking for gifts to make connections. Also, we live in an Amazon world. As much as this is an Etsy search workshop, people are looking for items that shipped yesterday. And so we have to always keep that in mind. And I'm not saying I am someone that makes things that are often made to order. But if you can offer in your shop, say something that is a digital download that goes with your brand, something that can ship really quick, whether it's a kit, just something that you can add that you might not lose it on that customer where they may not purchase because your shipping time's wrong, and you can't help that. It takes time to make that, and people have to understand that. But for people looking for that quick fix, that quick ship item, adding just things that are ready to ship is important to people. And I think Etsy, I had seen the other day, Etsy's even like predicting when shipping time, like you can use in the filters now of when the item should arrive. Not necessarily the processing time. So people are using that. Pros and cons. I don't work for Etsy, so I can say that. But people they want things yesterday. So they do have high expectations, but you can only do what you can do. So don't stress in those things. But just if you can add those types of things, those ready to ship things, even if it, like I said, a digital download, whether it's a printable um, picture or a pattern, something like that, that you can grab those customers. So your keywords. So, with millions of people around the world shopping online during the Christmas season, it's important that our listings are well optimized for search. Refining your titles, your tags, and your item descriptions is one of the most effective ways to increase your shop's visibility in both on and off Etsy. We'll talk a little bit about Google and about getting found with blogs and different things like that that can drive traffic to your shop. So we're going to go through some of the techniques that you can use to help get your shop ready and found. So lead with your most relevant keywords. When someone searches on Etsy, the system scans your titles, your tags for matches. So imagine what a buyer would type into the search to find your items, and use those words and phrases in your titles and tags. So it's really important. And I think this is my number one Etsy search tip is when you're creating your titles, do not make it something that is unique to you. As much as you have poured in and developed this product and it is your own, no one will be searching for a name that you have made up that is really unique to you. So in your keywords, you want to be as defined as possible in what a shopper is searching for. So if you've made a painting and you've called your painting some really kitschy name to you, no one will be searching it. So you want to talk about what colors are in the painting, the size of the painting, where the painting should be hung. So when you're thinking about those titles, large blue painting of the ocean, living room decor. That's what someone's going to be searching. In my own experience, when I first started, I made these hats that had anchors on them, and I called them, like, the line was Ahoy baby hats. Nobody was searching for that. They were looking for baby hats. They were looking for baby hats with anchors on them, but they weren't looking for that specific title that I had given them. And so that really affected my search ranking. Buyer behavior suggests that shoppers use descriptive terms when searching the site, as they usually have something specific in mind. Keep in mind when you're coming up with your titles and tags, go for phrases rather than single words, and think about your own search patterns as a buyer. When you're looking for something, what are you typing in? So when you're creating these titles and tags, think like a buyer. Think how you search for things. What kind of phrases do you use? Do you use gloves? Do you use red wool gloves, red leather gloves, red gloves with buttons? Things like that people really want to refine it, because there is millions and millions of listings on Etsy, and people, it's not about being on the first page necessarily of search. I think myself as a shopper, I will go through the first 3, 4, 5, 6 pages to find what I like. I'm okay with that, but people, won't be going through a million listings. They want to refine their search as much as possible to exactly what they are looking for. So, like I said, approach your listing from a shopper's perspective. Generally, shoppers are looking for gifts by type, price, and recipient, or some combination of all three. To capture their attention in your listings, emphasize why your item would make a great gift based on their needs, and highlight the examples of potential recipients in your product descriptions. Consider updating your titles and tags to reflect seasonal trends and search terms when relevant, to match what your ideal customer might be searching for this time of year. So it's really important, whether it's, something small. Is it a teacher gift? A gift for your sister, a gift for her? And we're going to talk about actually what terms are trending right now. I'm going to give you just some little hints, and those gifting type phrases are what people are searching for. I know my husband, for example, when he's searching for something, he doesn't know what to buy and he's not going to go specifically. So he's like, gifts for my wife under $50, things like that. So adding those kind of generic phrases into your tags seasonally is really, really important to attract those buyers. I wouldn't necessarily lead in your title with gifts under $50. I would lead with what your item is, but in your tags, I would use the gifts for her, teacher gifts, stocking stuffers, things like that. Add relevant categories and attributes. To help shoppers find your item when shopping on Etsy, it's important to select the accurate category and subcategories for each of your listings. And like we said, people like to filter their searches so they're not scanning through millions and millions of listings. So it's important to fill those out. And those are kind of like free tags and titles, or free tags that Etsy gives us that we don't have to use as one of our 13 tags. Based on which category you choose, you'll be able to add more attributes to your items as such as the size. And you'll also be able to specify the item's color, whether it's related to a celebration like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Halloween, Valentine's Day, anything like that, that you can fill those out. And it, like I said, it doesn't take up kind of that valuable real estate in the 13 tags. Write enticing listing descriptions. The need to know information should be at the top of your description to help clarify any aspects that aren't immediately clear from looking at your listing photos. Sizes, dimension, colors, or ordering instructions are super important. Whether like if you are doing digital downloads, putting in that, an item will not be shipped. It's not a physical item, things like that. Etsy doesn't necessarily scan these descriptions for their ranking purposes. So if you have great descriptions, it's not going to put you any higher in search ranking. But Google does look at the descriptions, as well as people, bloggers, influencers who are building, especially right now in the Christmas time, collections, doing blog hops, doing there's Etsy affiliates who are using these things, whether it matches with their brand, to promote you. The first 160 to 500 characters of your listing description tend to be the most important to external search engines. So it doesn't hurt to put some of your tags and your keywords within your listing description. Think globally. Etsy's automatically going to translate your listings into a customer's preferred language. There's a few things that you can do to optimize this experience for your global shoppers. And I'm just going to point out one thing to be careful of if you do I sell patterns as well as finished items. So Etsy will translate your listing, but Etsy doesn't translate, a written pattern. So I was reading something the other day that someone had run into trouble when they had translated the listing into, I'm going to say Spanish, but the actual pattern was written in English. So even in adding in your listing descriptions, it's important maybe to put, if it is something like a digital download, what language the recipient will get it in. This person had left a 1-star review because they couldn't read the instructions, but the listing had come through in their language. So Etsy, it didn't kind of compute. So that's just like a little sort of insight that I had recently. But make sure to double check that your default shop language matches the language that you're most fluent in. The translation tool will take care of the rest. Keep in mind that names of certain items vary by location and sometimes do not translate literally. For example, a sweater in the US is called a jumper in the UK and a pullover in Germany. Also, taking those, you can add some of those into your listing descriptions. Sweater, jumper, pullover, like looking at different names for it, hat, toque, beanie, things that they call in different languages that will often compute. Since sizes aren't translated, it's really important to add both metric and imperial units, centimeters and inches. Um, and we're, putting it in your photos of what size is probably the best practice too, so that people can see it in real life. But another tidbit, I live in New Brunswick, and where I live is a bilingual province. I'm not bilingual, but a lot of people are, and they speak both French and English. Um, if you are fluently bilingual, you can do your listings in both French and English because, or whatever language you are bilingual in, um, because your translation will probably be better than what Etsy or Google Translate will be. But if you are not fluent, don't try and use those translating tools yourself, because Google and Etsy, like, their search will pick it up as a bit spammy, and won't look at your listings as high quality, because the translations won't be fluent. So finding the right keywords takes time. Don't forget to periodically check your shop stats to identify which keywords draw the most views in your shop, especially when experimenting with seasonal titles and tags. Um, if some of your keywords aren't attracting views, you can swap them out for new ones and see which ones perform better. And try additional variations of keywords as well. I often, when I'm putting up a new listing, will list it twice and use 26 keywords and see what keywords are bringing me the most, and then kind of amalgamate the two listings into one with the superpower 13 keywords. That just, it's a 25 cent investment into finding out what's going to attract people and hopefully get you more sales if you're building kind of a super listing by doing that. So I do want to tell you about some of my favorite things to find your keywords. eRank is a real sorry, I'm going to lose my voice. eRank is a really great tool. There's a paid version and a free version. I just use the free version. And anyway, you can type in keywords. It will tell you where you rank globally for sales. So for the past 30 days, eRank brought up the 5 best keywords that people are searching for right now. And like I said, gifts is obviously what people are searching for. And you can search by country. You can search by like yesterday, 7 days. Up here, I just have a screenshot of it, so I can't actually go into it, but you can put in your own keywords here, and say, like, something just crochet or knit or jewelry, and it will generate keywords for you, and it will tell you how used or overused or underused or how much it's searched. So it's a really, really great tool. And like I said, it's free. And there's also Marmalade. I have used Marmalade as well, but I prefer eRank, and that's just personal preference. I don't tend to recommend to use them together because sometimes I find their information conflicting. And so just to avoid that sort of search whiplash, I would stick to one platform. And for me, I recommend eRank. It works for me. But it's just a super easy tool. I do all of my listings. It'll give you a listing grade. It'll tell you, if your titles or your description sound spammy. It will tell you if you have spelling mistakes. Really, really great tool. Etsy search, also another really great tool to find keywords. So I just took a screenshot of the bottom. I typed in search into Etsy search. I put in scarf story and just scrolled to the bottom of my page, and it was like, this is what other people are looking for. So there's a whole bunch of tags right there for me. You can also go through, people's listings, whether it's your competition. And I'm not saying go and copy their tags or anything, but look at what people are searching for. Etsy search will auto-populate a search result for you as well. So if you start searching into Etsy search what your listing is, or what you want to put up, it will auto-populate what people are searching for right now, and kind of predict what you're looking for or what other people are looking for. Really great tool to use. Pinterest and Google will also auto-populate for you. You can go into Pinterest, and see, what people are searching right now, not just yourself. Another great thing when doing Etsy search is to go in your computer in, like, incognito mode. So it won't even necessarily, our computers and our Etsy is trained to put in front of us what we want. So if you go into incognito mode, it gives you sort of a blank slate search, and so you can see kind of from a customer's perspective what they're searching for. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend when doing your titles and your keywords, looking at, just clues that are all around you to find this. So I just gonna check the comments here. So yes, with one of a kind, it's different, but you can look at what is bringing buyers to you in other listings. Like I'm sure that one of a kind are in similar families. Um, so if you're looking at all of your listings and comparing like kind of those super words together, I would do that. Yeah, but not if you I wouldn't list it twice um unless you put it as sold out on both listings or deactivated the second listing once it sells. But the goal is to have it sold. So yeah, no, but just find how people are getting to you, how people are finding your shop. Another great tool, Etsy has just released, or not just released, they've had it out for a little while, but your video and your photos. And I will say that Etsy, if you follow them on social media, is leaning towards showing more video, process video, listing video on their social media channels of sellers than they are just regular photos. So that's just like a little tip, if you're looking kind of to be found on their platforms as well, or their social media platforms. The video option lets you really show off what you make, your products, and make some products special. We recommend that you upload videos of listing that get the most traffic. Add 10 photos to each listing to answer any questions the shoppers might have about the size, the color, or the materials used. But also with the 10 photos, Etsy doesn't penalize you for not having 10 photos in your listing, but they reward you based on the amount of time that customers spend in your shop. So if they have 10 photos to look through of a listing, or they have 2 photos to look at, they're obviously going to be spending more time on the listing that has 10 photos just to get through all of the photos. Um, and that way, people spend more time. Etsy says, oh, this is a valuable listing for us. Let's rank it higher in the search. People seem to be spending more time on that. And your photos don't have to be of your product. They can be of your logo. They can be telling people to go to your social media channel. They can be informing, make a Canva slide about shipping delays, your current processing time, just kind of things like that. Anything that you can think of, that might be extra. Your packaging is really important. But just aside from like the item itself, there's a lot of things that you can do to put those photos that you can put in as photos to keep people engaged in your listings. So, delivery. As we head into the Christmas season, I know we are living in crazy times. Make sure to keep your processing times up to date, especially before your shop gets busy. People are using your processing and delivery times, like I said, as a shipping filter. So if you have ready to ship items and next day shipping, have all of that filled out and ready to go, because people are looking for that as a search term. But don't kill yourself getting items out next day. Be realistic in your processing times. If it takes you 2 weeks, it takes you 2 weeks. But make sure that you don't put an unrealistic time on yourself and then have customers, under promise and over deliver. If your processing time is 2 weeks, ship it out within that time frame. It would be so much better to have a 2-week processing time and ship it out in that time frame than a 1-day processing time and you ship it out in 2 weeks. Um, People are reasonable for the most part. Like I did say that, they expect things yesterday, but I think there is, really great shoppers who know the process and know handmade, and they're shopping on Etsy because of this process. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't kill yourself over your processing times, but I would make sure that they're reasonable and that you don't give people expectations that they're going to get something if you cannot deliver. Um, Knowing when their order will arrive is especially important, especially right now to shoppers at Christmas. Again, though, we cannot control. So as it gets closer to Christmas, I think it's really important to put in your shop announcement, to put in your shop banner if you have one, your listings. Hey, order soon because there could be shipping delays. This is my last day to take orders to make sure that it gets in the mail in time for Christmas. Things like that. Just being super upfront and super communicative with your customers about those shipping times is also really, really important. Your shop policies are really important to have filled out because when buyers are searching, they want to search from a trusted shop, and they want to know that you've taken the time to write down those shop policies and that you've invested that time into your shop. Um, and it gives you kind of a leg to stand on. And Etsy looks at it as that you've taken the time and invested in your shop and created these policies. Etsy also has a template, which is really great that you can edit to your own shop. So as we head into the Christmas season, make sure you keep the processing times up to date, especially before your shop gets busy. Um, Okay, sorry, I just got mixed up. Add delivery company into the delivery profiles. Etsy uses this to show shoppers the estimated times of deliveries, and clear shop policies and return policies give shoppers a little extra confidence before they make their purchase. So knowing that they can or can't return something, some people might shop from you because you don't accept returns because they want to know that someone hasn't returned it and you're just selling it to someone else. They want to know that you really stand by your product. And if you don't accept returns, maybe it's because your product is so amazing and custom to them that it really shines when they read those policies. Um, but having those, within a certain time frame for your return policies, having all of that gives people just something else to just more knowledge when they're in your shop. So, if you buy something for someone for Christmas in November, but you only accept returns within 7 days, maybe they won't make the purchase because they don't know to give it a gift and the person won't get it till Christmas. So having those shop policies actually may save you in the end of that person coming back and having a mess after Christmas and having to deal with that. Make the most of the increased traffic to your shop. More shoppers have discovered Etsy recently, thanks in part to all of the television ads and increased shopping while people are at home. 13 million new shoppers joined from October to December 2020, and that's an increase of 76.7% over the past year. And I don't know if you follow like Etsy stocks, but their stocks went crazy yesterday. I know they had a little bit of a glitch. We couldn't get on. I don't know what happened there. But investors are really, really believing in Etsy. And I know that has put kind of some pressure on sellers, but it's also getting more buyers onto the platform. And it's repeat buyers. Buyers are coming back. There was a 205% increase in the buyers coming back in the first 3 months of last year. So increased traffic, repeat shoppers means more sales. So here is some of the ways that you can take advantage of that increased traffic. So Etsy has a tool on your dashboard that you can share your listings right onto social media. I haven't done it in a while, but there used to be just like a little Etsy tag that would pop up that people could shop directly, click in, and go directly into your listing. Start an Etsy ad campaign. And these are just, I'm just going to throw this out there. These are just suggestions, and do what works for you. So if you don't want to start an ad campaign, don't feel that I'm pushing this onto you. The ad campaigns, as you search Etsy, I find more and more the listings that are coming up front are really high quality listings that are ads. So it's a combination of the two, and not just an ad campaign, and not just a really high quality listing. Etsy data shows that sellers who respond to messages with 24 hours are more likely to receive 5-star reviews. If you cannot get to your message in 24 hours, life happens. Set up automated responses. You still have to respond to the messages, and you still have to change out those automated responses. I think it's like every 4 days, just to kind of keep you accountable, and you're not just sending automatic responses out all the time. But why people are coming to Etsy is because they want to make that connection with a seller. So I think once they've made that connection, it's like walking in, even at a craft market. I think when we talk to customers, they're more compelled to buy. So when people come back and you're having that conversation about an item, I think people feel more compelled to buy because you have taken the time to chat with them about your listing, and they feel more comfortable. Like I said, connecting with the creator, it just makes it really personable. Adding handwritten notes, if you offer gift wrapping, adding, just little touches, give people that. And where we have lost so much of our in-person networking and sense of community in person, I think being able to actually connect with somebody that made the thing that you are purchasing is really, really important. Encourage shoppers to add more to their basket by offering free delivery on orders over $35. I'm in Canada. Again, Etsy has just rolled out in the last few months pricing strategies, and it's a really important tool for someone like me who is in Canada, where for me to send a hat to another province costs about $22 just to ship, where it costs me about $6 in the US. So being able to incorporate my shipping prices into my US sales has been really important for that global shipping, and being able to offer free shipping for US customers, where I can't necessarily do that for Canadian customers. But being able to break that up now has been a huge tool in my shop. Marketing. So there isn't a one size fit all. I do not love social media at all. I'm really awful at posting. I find it overwhelming. I find it really hard to think about what to post and post really great things. And I have all these people that I follow who are amazing, and I get imposter syndrome, and they're doing all these great things. So for me, social media is not a great tool to use. So that's why I've really honed in on my Etsy search. But you need to do what works best for you. You need to curate your own experience for being a shop owner. And so there isn't, like we said, one size fit all. So we're just going to talk about some of the strategies that you can use to increase people into your shops. So your social media, it's free. It's really, really great. You have millions of people at your fingertips at all times. Consider sharing photos of items in your Christmas scenes or wintry elements. So even if you're just doing your listing photos and it's late for it now, but July, and you're putting up a new listing, I always keep a basket of Christmas items out that I don't put away with my Christmas decorations. And I just throw this as a background of my photos. So I take regular photos for all year long, and then I take Christmas photos at the same time. I save them and I can swap those out. It works great on your banners as well and just your social media, your listing photos, but making it a little more festive. And it's just a really easy thing to do to switch it out for holiday season and give people kind of that ambiance as well. Look into relevant hashtags to get discovered by more people outside of just your followers. See what the people who are following you and liking your photos, what other hashtags they are following and liking, what they're using as hashtags, what people in their community base is using. So hashtags can be a really, really great way to be found. I keep a notebook of ones that work for me, and I kinda go through them, and if they're getting a little stale or they've gotten too big, I do that all of the time. Um, Go live on Facebook and Instagram. Like I said, again, I am not a live person, but people do amazing things. I love to watch people's lives. I am their customer. I love to interact. I love to know that I can interact with somebody in person that I at once upon a time was so far away and I would never have had a connection to in any other world other than now. But making those connections makes me want to buy from people when I've had a conversation with them or I know their story or I know something crazy that happened to them yesterday. Being personable, being that human behind the handmade and giving a face and a name and a story to your shop is really important to buyers. Trends. So with Christmas approaching, shoppers are looking to Etsy sellers to make their season feel special. And like we said, the word of the season is meaningful. So from all these small little updates like your tags to dreaming up fresh designs, there's several ways to optimize your shop for the season and keeping trends in mind. Get inspiration from new products, update your photos with on-trend styling. So what, fabrics or patterns or colors are trending right now, even if you don't offer those particular things in your shop, adding um a placemat or something in the background in that color and creates those tones and that ambiance within your photos can put you on trend with those colors and those textures without actually selling those colors or textures. Refresh your shop banner with seasonal details. Um, Include seasonally relevant top search terms in your titles, tags, and descriptions. And like we said, go back onto eRank, check what was trending. Gifts. So adding gifts for the home, gifts for him, gifts for her into your titles and your descriptions is really important because that's what people are searching for. And choose which listings to promote on your Etsy ads. You can just promote a few. You can promote your newest listings. It doesn't matter. You don't have to promote them all. You can set your budget to whatever you want. And like I said, no pressure to do that. You do what works for you. So whether you're bringing your social media people in, I know shops that close down and only announce on social media that they're going to go live with what they have available and then they will sell out within an evening and then they shut their shop down again. That's what works for them. So it's about finding your niche and your groove and doing what works for you. So ad campaigns, Etsy ads, I know we all seen it. Like I said, they make your listings more prominent for millions of buyers who are searching for products on the site. You can set your daily budget, run an ad campaign, and you can promote listings. Etsy will continue to optimize how the budget is spent over time to boost exposure in Etsy on Etsy search results. There's also sort of the discussion of the offsite ads. And I know people have pros and cons again about offsite ads. I look at it as a way that someone out there in the world that wasn't on Etsy found my listing who would never have found it before. So I almost look at that sale and that payment that I give up in that fee as a sale that I wouldn't necessarily have had otherwise, and they may bring people back to my shop. One of my favorite things is I often have people who will buy something from me and then a few days later I'll get a message to a very similar address. So they've told their neighbors or their sister or things like that. And I think Um, Having great customer service and great, shop experience and a great product, and then getting people to come back is really important. So if you can get a sale outside of Etsy with the offsite ads and maybe potentially have that interaction with a customer is so, so valuable. Um, Communication. Make sure that you assess your production systems and fulfillment process. Ensure that your postage returns, final order before Christmas info are clearly communicated in your shop policies, your shop announcement, and your message to buyers. So that email they get when they check out, hey, just a reminder, there may be some shipping delays. These are the last times to order. Um, like I said, in your listing photos, in your listing description, your shop banner, your shop announcement, your about section, even your shop policies, whether you want to put that, you know, items that are shipped before this date, which is my final cutoff date, cannot be refunded if they do not show up on time because I have given you so many opportunities to know that you have to order by now. It also just gives people come back at you. We've all, I'm sure, gotten those messages. Where's my order? Why is this? And you've done your best to clearly communicate that there were shipping delays. There is not much more you can do. And by having those delays written everywhere, it's just be able to flip back at your customer and say, I'm sorry, but it was mentioned in this, it was mentioned here, 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 and here. Coupons and sales. Feel free to say thanks with a coupon. Sellers show that shoppers how much they appreciate their business and give them an incentive to come back to their shop with a thank you coupon. I prefer a thank you coupon over like a follow me and get a coupon because this is rewarding someone who's already purchased from you for buying rather than telling someone to wait until you offer a sale until then they kind of discount you as a whole. If they're waiting for a coupon, they're only going to purchase from you if you offer them the discount. I prefer a thank you coupon. So it's thanking someone for making the purchase full price first, and then they get rewarded, and then they come back and make another purchase. But I will say participating in Etsy sales events when you can, no pressure, and do what you can do can be really important. I know they're really pushing when things are on sale. And sometimes, you know what, if it's in your shop and you cannot offer things on sale or you can only, participate in one big promotion, then that is totally okay as well. But there does give you more opportunity to be featured on editors picks and Etsy emails. So just keep that in mind. I'm sorry, our province just announced last night that they were going to be doing an emergency alarm system. So if you hear crazy ringing, I think my TV's going now upstairs. So anyway, but just sorry, if you can participate in those, it's okay. If you can't, it's okay. It does give you a little bit more exposure, but make sure your price points allow you, like, make sure you're not losing money by offering something at 20%. Make sure you can afford it. If there's only one item that you can put in, if you do have, say a digital download or something that is just easy for you to offer at a discount, and that gives you that exposure of participating in an Etsy sale. If you can do that. Like they said, everyone loves a but you cannot always do it. Do what works for you. And to be honest, I get turned off by shops who always have things on sale because I wonder what their full price offer is. And so is it really that price? If an item is always on sale. So, any questions? I'm just looking. If you have any questions and want to shoot them in the comment box. This is going to be recorded and kept live. You can always reach out to me on Etsy, hazelbee.ca, or on Instagram. I do check my messages on there as much as I don't post. Email through the sign up for the Etsy workshop. But yeah, no, thank you. Thank you so much. We're hoping to have the kinks worked out on this platform and where it's recording in YouTube when you can always come back. Is it worth paying for Etsy Plus? 100%. Like I said, I don't work for Etsy. And I love Etsy Plus. I would recommend anyone do it. What you get so many free listings. You get so many ad credits. It works out to about you even out. I love the look of your shop when you come into it with the banner, with the carousel, with all of those things. I would 100% recommend doing Etsy Plus. And you can also put in your own web address with Etsy Plus. So hazelbee.ca links right back to my Etsy shop. Trying to think of some other things that we didn't cover. But if you can think of anything, like I said, I am a email or a Instagram message away. We're super excited to be launching more of these, especially after the new year, and kind of getting your shop ready for January and the rest of the year. I think we're kind of crazy in the thick of things. I hope you guys are all having really busy shops. I hope, like I said, that the busyness does kind of settle. But it's been crazy, and I feel like just through COVID, things have been really, really crazy, and people are really wanting to get and make a connection with their customers and using this platform to make these connections. Don't have Etsy Plus. Huh. That may have been something because you couldn't have your domain name that was part of like the Etsy Plus. So maybe they just like grandfathered that in, because I've only had my shop since 2016 and I couldn't put a domain name in before that. Because yeah, when I think Etsy Plus was just introduced like 2018. But I would, based on the ad credits and the look of your shop, you can customize sort of the, sections. So I have mine set up as patterns and different, like the sections you can put photos in those in. Bestsellers, Etsy picks, things like that. You can really customize it. So I would definitely recommend. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for kind of being patient as we figured this out. I'm glad that we all got here, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you again. This will be loaded up hopefully soon. So take care. Enjoy the holiday rush and relax in January.